Let's get started. I hope you have your shoes on. I hope you're wearing a high vis if you're out on the road. We are going to start with our usual 2-minute warm-up walking. So if your fitness is greater than your starting point, what I mean by that is if your starting point is you're only walking at the moment and you're just starting out to run, well then walking here is perfectly acceptable. I always start my runs with an easy walk. If you are a little bit more experienced and you've been doing lots of running and you're adding this into your session as part of an interval session, then by all means start with an easy jog. But for now, as you can see, I'm starting with a walk. Again, if you're watching this, if you're using it on YouTube, this is going to be one of the most boring videos you have ever watched. But if you're just playing on YouTube and listening along, you've got the headphones on or you have your aftershocks in and you are out on the road or out on the footpath, please be aware of the traffic around you. I live on a very busy road, but thankfully I can go up and down the driveway. So just continuing to walk here, I want you to start thinking about your posture now. When you're thinking from the ground up, think about landing on the midpoint of the foot. Take a breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and relax the legs. Sometimes we can hold the legs quite tight when we're concentrating, and I want you to just think about relaxing them. Again, another tip that I love to give people is that when your upper body is relaxed, the lower body tends to follow suit. So shake out your arms, take a breath in, hug your shoulders up towards your ears, and as you breathe out, just give the arms a shake and drop the shoulders back down. It's a nice way to relax the arms and transfer that relaxation to the lower body. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees, arms moving from the back to the front. And again, when you're focusing on movement in the arms, think about pushing the elbows back. Don't think about dragging the arms forward. That's more for when we're going uphill. Think about pushing the elbows behind you. So we're going to start now into our A walk. So knees high. Knees up to hip height, toes pointed towards the sky. Sorry, I got a little bit of a frog in my throat there, but it's cleared. And so knees high, up to hip height. And I want you to lift your opposite arm to your opposite knee. Okay, back to a walk. Let's go again. So lifting one knee, lifting the toes towards the sky, opposite leg. And we're just going at a normal walking pace here. You might be a little bit slower, obviously, but that's okay. Every time you lift your left knee, you're raising your right arm, just like you would running normally. And back to a walk. Okay, from here, this time we're doing something slightly different. I have to stop sometimes and start in a standing position because I get my arms and my legs mixed up. We're just adding a skip into the middle of this. Okay, so every time we lift one knee, the opposite leg is skipping on the ground. And keep going for 2 more on each leg. And then back to a walk. Let's recover. Okay, we're going to add in a new drill. So let's do some side skips. Turning in one direction. And we're just bringing one foot to the other. So skipping to the side. And then coming back to a walk. Now we're going to change direction and skip to the opposite side. So right about now, if you're confused about what I'm talking about, have a look at the video. Just side skipping, bending the knees, and back to a walk. This time we're going to bring the heels up towards the bum. Now that doesn't mean that we're doing that flicky thing we used to do in primary school. We're still raising the knees, but we're just trying to bring the heels as close to the bum as we can, Again, great mobility for knees, for ankles, for hips. And it's teaching us to kick up at the back a little bit. Okay, back to a walk. And let's go and do our grapevine. So again, a little bit of hip mobility, one leg to the front, one leg to the back, going in one direction. We're going to walk for about 5 paces, and then we're going to shift direction. Crossing one leg over the other, one in front, one behind, one in front, one behind, for about 10 or 15 steps, and then we're back to a walk. So all this is all doing is gradually increasing the heart rate and allowing us to mobilize the hips and warm up the muscles in the legs a little bit. We're also practicing our balance, our coordination, and thinking about our body positioning a little bit more. So continuing that walk and getting ready for our next interval. Taking a breath in and starting our jog again. Another 20 seconds. So I want you to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and keep your pace even. Don't take off super fast and then burn yourself out and feel like you're keeling over at the end of 20 seconds. Try to keep your pace consistent. Are you doing a pace that you feel you can maintain consistency in? Back to a walk. Now have a think about your breathing. How does it feel? Is it very laboured? Or does it feel like your 20-second effort was nice and easy? Breathing in again, getting ready for our next interval, and off we go. So you'll see me easing off pace. If you're watching this now, you'll see me easing off pace. I started my first 2 a little bit fast, and I've eased off the pace on this one. Relaxing my shoulders and back to a walk. So we're recovering for another 20 seconds. Now, this is a little bit of an accumulation session, so as we go up in our efforts, we're going to feel a little bit more fatigued and a little bit more out of breath. I'm stopping here to take my jacket off. And we're going to go for our next set. Off we go. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. So look, we're not spending our time here trying to get faster immediately. What we're trying to do is increase the amount of time we can spend actually in a run rather than walking. So we're trying to increase our endurance a little bit. And we're back to a walk. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's go again. This time we're going to go for a little bit longer, adding 10 seconds onto our interval time. Halfway there. So again, check your pace. Can you go for an extra little bit without fatiguing? If you can't, if you feel this is really, really hard, pull your pace back. Okay, let's walk. Now you get to decide what pace you're walking at. You're going to get the same amount of time as me to recover, but if you walk more slowly, your recovery will be greater. If you walk a little bit faster, you might not recover quite as well. So you can see me getting ready to start my watch again, and let's go. Increasing that effort. Again, check in with your breathing. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and ask yourself how it feels. Can't even talk now. Ask yourself how it feels. Is it really easy? Is it feeling harder? Do you need to slow it down, but keep jogging? And we're coming back to a walk. If you're watching the video, you'll see that the dogs have just given up the ghost. They've stopped following me up the drive. They're like, there's no point. She's coming back down again. There's no point. Just stay here. Conserve our energy. So you're still recovering, still walking. And let's go again. Jogging now. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keeping your effort consistent. We're not speeding off. We're just looking to increase the amount of time we're jogging for. And again, if you are adding this in as part of an overall run session, you're adding extra pace during these interval sessions. That's all this is. Playing with your pace. And now we're coming back to a walk. Okay, I'm pretty sure the next set is a 40-second set. So just increasing that effort level a little bit more again. I don't know what hand signals I'm doing there. I'm sure it made sense at the time. Oh, I was saying I've 10 seconds left before we start the next interval. Okay, so let's start jogging in 3, 2, and off we go. So what I noticed when I was doing this video is that I'm inclined to dip into my hips a little bit, or slouch. So I finish off the session with some hip hitches, and I'll show you those in a moment. But right now we're jogging, and we're putting an effort in for 40 seconds. So out of the 3 sessions we've done so far, this is probably going to be one of your more difficult ones, especially if you're new to running, just because the volume of movement is a little bit greater. We're still jogging. And we're back to a walk. Again, just check in with yourself, thinking about what it feels like, thinking about how slowly you need to move in order to recover. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Give yourself the opportunity to recover well during this session. Still walking here. And getting ready to run. Off we go. So let's think about where we're landing with our foot. Strong in the core. Our midpoint of our foot is landing underneath us. We're not bent at the waist, but we've got a slight forward lean in our whole body. Our chin is down. We're just keeping our head level so we don't have our chin poked out in front of us. Equally, we're not looking right down to the ground under our own feet. And we're still jogging. And back to a walk. Okay, this is our recovery phase. Again, check in with your breathing. I'm going to keep reminding you to do this because I want you to keep checking in with how you're feeling and keep reflecting on, okay, well, where am I out of 10 right now? Does this feel like a 7? Does it feel like I'm working really hard? and I need to recover? Or does it feel like a 4? Could you put in a little bit more effort in your run? Because we still want to challenge ourselves. Okay, we're back to a run. Let's go. Now, this is our last run set. So we're putting in an effort here. We're going to go for 40 seconds. Bringing us up to 16 minutes of a session in total. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keeping that run going. And we're back to a walk. So from here, I want you to think about your recovery. Let the arms relax. Again, breathe in through the nose. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears, squeezing them. Exhale, let them loose. In about 20 seconds, we're going to be bringing it back to base, and we're going to do 1 or 2 exercises just to switch off a little. Warm down and allow our heart rates to come back down to normal. You might decide to continue walking at this point. It's totally up to you. If you want to stop and do these exercises with me, you can do. So what I'm doing first is just a little bit of you'll see here now, a forward bend. Okay, so like a single leg deadlift, and then bringing the knee up at the front. So I'm leaning forward. Again, just a bit of stability work for that standing leg. Knee high. Let's do one more. And then we're going to swap legs. Let me show you from the other side. Standing on one leg, pull the belly button back towards the spine. Coming into almost a deadlift position with one leg. And then bringing the knee up and forward. I have to bring my arms to the front to do this because my balance is terrible, but I am working on it. Last one, bringing the leg to the back, keep the hips level, and knee to the front. Okay, new movement. This time we're going to do a hip hitch. So you can see here, I'm just standing tall, arms out to the side for balance, and I'm just squeezing one hip up like so, trying to shorten that distance between my hip and my ribs. Squeezing in, engaging through the core. So it's like I'm shortening one leg, tilting my pelvis from side to side. And let's swap legs. Hitching that hip up, squeezing through the side of the pelvis. Let's do 2 more. Okay, maybe 3 more. And that's it. Well done, guys. That was a great session.